Hola y bienvenidos a otro episodio de Entre Abuelitas, where we gather around Abuelitas' wisdom. Aren't we lucky? Abuelitas have the love that never fades, the roots that keep us strong, and she has that sweet, soft voice that reminds us, you are enough. Siempre. Welcome to Entre Abuelitas. I am your abuelita and your host, Liliana Montenegro. Let's jump right into Lily Talk. You know, how we talk about abuelitas in this show, it's a showcase. We want to make sure that all of you out there know the life, the stories, the teachings that come with a life fully lived, at 70, 80, 90 years old. There is something to be learned, and we would love to join the younger generations to ask us questions, because learning from your past is building a better future. Porque nosotras somos una cultura con estilo. Yeah. Because no matter what era abuelitas are in, well, their love is loud, and it's so loud that it doesn't compare to any trend that we have going at the moment. And then their love, well, it never goes out of style. Now, we know that abuelitas will do anything for us. Abuelitas will get up early in the morning one day, go to Vallarta Market, get their tomatillos and their carnitas and their masa, and then they get home and they prepare this feast for all of you, which is to her like an everyday thing, just to please you, just to make you happy. But then you'll have a younger generation come and ask abuelita, "Ay, abuelita, why don't you just sleep in? You know that, they have everything already made. Why do you spend the time?" And abuelita kindly will remind us that la cocina es el corazón de la casa. The kitchen is the heart of the home. This is where the best memories are created. Now, we have some, yeah. Okay, anyway, when you take the time to do something that you really like, you have to take the time, because that is when you find the real taste of life. Now, take your time, because in this world that is obsessed with speed, I mean, you get on the freeway and everybody's going a million miles. Their lives are busy. They're hurrying it from one job to another, or one activity to another. So take your time, slow down a little bit, and it's good. You'll enjoy life a little bit more. I know. Who am I to tell you what to do, right? I'm not telling you. I'm suggesting. But listen, when I was a little girl, there's one thing that I truly remember. I was very lucky to have two grandmas, my mama on my mom's side and my abuelita on my dad's side. My mama, they lived around the corner from us, or we lived around the corner from them, one of the two. But I remember when I was very little, she would take me with her on this rocking chair, and we would just rock away as she sang me, told me stories, hugged me, tickled me, played with me. And the years passed. And then one day I said to my abuelita, to my mama, I said, "Mama, why do you still use that rocking chair when it's so broken? I think it's time for us to throw it away." She said, "Just because something is broken, it doesn't mean that it's useless. It doesn't mean that you have to dispose of it. You can fix it, you can love it, and you can make it stronger." And she did. She fixed that rocking chair, and it was with her until the end of her time. And that's something to be remembered. So in this world of disposable everything, because we dispose of relationships with husbands, wives, siblings, children, parents. I mean, it's just crazy how much separation there is. But not only that, we dispose of jobs because, I don't want to work. And we dispose of dreams, things that we really wanted to do at one point, and then we forget all about them. How about we don't? Let's not forget about them. Okay? But the one thing also that I want to tell you is that in this world of so much activity, slowing down will not kill you. It will give you the opportunity to meet with those that you love, stop by, sit down, and listen to what they have to say. And it is my hope that you will take a minute to listen to my beautiful guest today, because this young lady, well, she comes from Peru, from where I come from. She is extremely young and has served her community and the people around her with so much love through the years that, well, it was important to have her entre abuelitas. So let's meet the beautiful guest in our show today, Miss Sylvia Cristina White, but better known to her friends and family as Nina White. Welcome, Nina.
It's a pleasure to be here.
You're so cute. Listen, tell us a little bit about who Nina is.
Well, I was born in Lima, Peru. I'm 80 years old, and I'm a retired teacher, and I'm a mother and a grandmother of one child who doesn't call me abuelita. She calls me nonna.
Oh, isn't that a little complicated to call you Nona, Nina, Nina, Nona?
No, she says I am her nonna because in Italian, nonna means abuela. But
Oh,
she has even made that hers, and she doesn't call me nonna. She says my noni means little abuelita.
oh,
And she's
oh.
gonna be 14 in March, and she's the only daughter of my daughter Erica, who is a teacher too.
Did she follow in your steps? I don't think so. I think the
No, I
story
don't
was
think
turned
so.
around. Tell us
No.
that story.
She was already in the university. She went to CSUN studying for being a teacher. And I had retired. And I have died very young. And
Tell us where you retired from and how long were
I
you there?
retired from the phone company after 20 something years of working there. A lovely company. I learned a lot and they gave me a lot, but I gave them my all too. And for a couple of months, for some time, I didn't work. So one day,
Well, you had retired. Didn't you deserve the time off?
no. My job was being moved to another place, to another
Oh, oh,
locality, and
okay.
I was not going to move my family. So I had retired. I was doing nothing and getting bored. So I started. My daughter says, "Mom, you have to do something with your life. You
How
can
old
be."
were you?
I forgot. Was 47, 48, 46. I don't remember now.
You were
You know,
young.
the age doesn't make a difference, but it was in my late 40s. Let's put it that way. And so she says, "Mom, my daughter, her best friend, Celia Chow, sat me in the kitchen table, and she says, 'What are you gonna do with your life, Mom? You cannot be doing nothing.' So he says, 'Why don't you become a teacher?' But she says, I never thought I had the ability to be a teacher
Wow.
because I am not a patient person.
Okay.
And I thought you needed a lot of patience. That's what I thought. You needed a lot of patience to teach children. I discovered otherwise. Otherwise. So I started teaching I started being a teacher's assistant
Mm-hmm.
to a school in Reseda. And it was a second grade teacher, I remember. And observing her how she taught, I said to myself, I can do this. And what is better, speak Spanish. And the children were 80% Hispanic, and we have something in common, our culture.
Right.
At that time, there was an ESL bilingual program, remember?
Yes, yes.
Yes, and
When
they
I came to this
30
country, I
years
did
ago.
ESL.
Oh, yes, and so I decided to be a teacher. So I was hired by the school district as an emergency teacher credential because I didn't have any schooling to go to school to teach children. So, and I applied at the same time for my teaching certificate uh, at the university. I ended up with a Master of Education 3 years later, and I
Wow.
started teaching, I think 96, 97, I forgot, a second grade class.
Now, when you became a teacher, did you teach at the same school as you were a TA at?
No, I went to a different school.
Okay.
And I went to a different school where my daughter was working.
Oh.
And at that time, they were in terrible need of Spanish speaking teachers at that location. So they hired
Oh.
me and I started going to school. It was not easy. Going to school, being a mother, I don't know how I did it, to be very honest. It was a challenge, but I did it. And I started teaching second grade. And let me tell you, there was nothing more. I have never been frightened like that. In a,
Frightened?
oh yes, because all of a sudden you see 20 pair of eyes looking at you and expecting you
Oh.
to, and you sit and I go, holy mackerel, what am I going to do? But anyway, I went through and I was going to school, and I want to remind you that my children were ESL students, English as a second language.
Hmm.
About 50 or 60% of them did not know how to speak English. And some of them did not even know how to read or write in Spanish. So what I had to
Oh,
do is teach them to read and write in Spanish and then transfer the skills to English. And that was a job.
wow. Oh, I can imagine. Not only for you, but for the child to learn. I mean,
You
all of a
know,
sudden, I mean, like, if we backtrack a little bit, you chose to come to this country. You
yes,
didn't want to be in Peru. You didn't want to have that kind of life, the government, the
yes.
noise, whatever it was. It all contributed to you coming to live with your aunt in South LA, as a matter of fact, during the riots.
Did the
And
right.
and you but you made it, you strive, you did it. But now, I mean, you have succeeded so much.
You know what? It is not that what you have accomplished, you succeeded. I don't see it like this. I see it like very practical, Lily.
What do you mean by practice?
You know, you're set to do something. You put your, socks up, put on your shoes, and keep on walking and start doing it. And one
Right.
thing I was determined is to start doing, to make a life here. It was not easy.
But you came by choice. But when we are brought, like these young children in school who barely know Spanish and they already have to learn the English, what I was blessed enough that when I came to this country, I spoke English, but I spoke English taught by teachers from England. So my English was very slow, very proper, very pronounced. And I was the victim of bullying from the moment I started school. And I was so depressed and I would cry home every day because these children hated me. These people in America, they hated me. What was I going to do? And then I just had to get used to the idea. But I remember my first day of class, I ran out crying and the teacher chased
I
after
believe it.
me and gave me a
I
big
believe
hug.
it.
She says, "You'll be
And at
okay."
that time, I believe it. And at that time, I don't know what I did, to be very honest, with the children. But the first thing that you do in a class is give the children the feeling that you are in a safest place, in a safe place where you can be yourself.
Qué lindo. Qué lindo.
See,
And that
it's
we
not
should
easy,
be like that.
but let me tell you, very reward. I know, in my opinion, teachers are underpaid.
Oh, yes.
The spiritual and
Underappreciated
emotional rewarding is tremendous, tremendous.
because
When you see your children succeed,
most of you teachers put of your own money to do and get
I did
things
that
for
for
the
many years
schools.
and did that for many years because some of my students came from a very challenged economic situation at home and the parents, and some of them had to go out and buy color pencils and erasers and pencils, notebooks. But you do what you have to do. But let me tell you, I loved it. And like I told you before, Lily, the Lord places you where you need to be.
Absolutely. That was your purpose.
I found myself, my calling, my passion in teaching.
And did you notice that you had patients where you thought you had none?
Repeat that again.
That you found out that you had patients that you didn't know that you
I
had?
didn't know I had the ability. I didn't know. I didn't know. But you said the children need love and care and attention and a safe place to
Yes.
be. And
Yeah.
sometimes those safe places are not even at home.
No. No, it's
And I learned a lot from the children. I learned to be humble, and that's a big lesson. I think it changed me. The going to teaching changed me as a human being.
wow.
I
Wow,
became
what a
more
gift.
empathic. I became more empathic, more sympathetic to others' plight. to other people's plights and to listen, to listen. Um, I remember that the parents, did I ever tell you this? The parents, you know, very, very, how can I say, very humble people, but beautiful people. And they would bring me potatoes and cabbages.
My goodness. Oh my God.
And because I would sit with
Qué
one of the
hermosos.
children, I would sit with them and give them an extra
Qué
hour of
hermoso.
tutoring on my own without anyone telling.
That is really touching. Do you know that? That these beautiful
Oh,
people
Lee,
will
people
share
do
their
not know.
food.
People do not know what some of these immigrants go through. And I'm not telling names, I'm not saying, but I remember that going first, I used to give the people money to go to the grocery, the parents. And then someone told me, don't do that. You have to go to the grocery shopping with them and let them buy it and you pay for it. We did that, and teachers do that.
Wow.
I
Oh my
had
goodness.
30 years ago, I had children who were unhoused. Yes.
So they
So
slept what,
the
in their
school,
car on the
I don't
street?
know how it is now, but the school will look. We had a social worker who looked places to stay. You know, is sometimes it makes me very emotional. But I remember the children coming to
Yeah.
me and say thank you because you see,
Eh,
you see, and it was a point that blessed the people here, whoever paid for this. The children would come to school without breakfast. So the school district decided to give them breakfast, and sometimes they were apples and burritos, whatever left over. And what I would used to do is leave them on the side. And at the end of the day, I would say, whoever needs this, bless you. I'm sorry.
we have another guest. For the past few weeks, we have had many a dogs in our guest home,
I'm
but no one as
Excuse
expressive
me.
at this one.
The dog is outside. I'm sorry.
That's oh wow. She's right outside your window. That's what she
Yes.
is.
If can I stop for a minute?
Okay. Well, ladies and gentlemen, this is real life and this is a real recording. And that is why you hear my friend Nina that is having to go and take care of her dog. But I think the dog is a little emotional. He really wants to be on the show, but I don't speak dog language. Not today. But as an abuelita, well, we have to have the patience and on everything that we do. And I think that actually I have met this little dog because I know Nina, I know her family, my sister knows her, and I think I met this dog just a couple of weeks ago, and I think she was barking a lot at me at my sister's house. Wasn't this dog at my sister's house a couple of weeks ago?
She is very jealous of her territory. And what she heard is across the street, a park came and parked. And she's very jealous and very territorial.
Uh,
And she barks because she wants no one to cross her street.
oh my goodness, she's rich. She
And she's a
owns a
rescue dog.
street.
So,
Well,
so
that's why.
she's a rescue dog, and I think it comes from her own insecurities.
My little terrier, when I got her, I actually got her from my sister. She bit me 4 times. The first one sending me to emergency as she severed some nerves on my
Mm.
finger. At first, I ran to the fire department right across the building where I live, and I run in there and I said, "Just tell me what to do." And he says, "Well, you need to go to the doctor and get a tetanus shot, but please don't forget, get rid of the dog." I still have her. She's going to be 6 years old. There's nothing I can do.
And
But
she's a rescue, and she was abandoned.
yeah. Oh,
So
pobrecita.
like children.
Yeah.
Uh,
Another thing about what you're saying about like the dog, it is not that I'm comparing or anything or like children, but it's so funny that you mentioned because this came to mind when I heard the expression lately mentioned where people go, "Oh, my mother. Oh, my mother in law. Oh, that woman. They're like children." They drop on their tushes and they make do tantrums and they only want to eat sweets. And I was thinking to myself, that is the best time of your life. What is wrong with that?
Yes.
You know? What is wrong
What
with
is it?
going back to those moments where nothing worried you? Where life was just as free as could be. And that's what you saw in the children in these schools. And they gave you what a gift they gave you, and how
Oh,
you were on your.
they gave me a tremendous gift. And, I realized too, Lily, that some of us live very sheltered lives
Yes.
until we are confronted with the real one.
Yeah.
I realized that, I don't know, I'm telling you, it was my late 40s when I was confronted with what real poverty is, and
Through the eyes of a child.
through the eyes of a child. And as I told you before, it led me to be humble. I learned to be humble, and I learned humility, and I learned gratitude.
Did it also come to mind that money was not important, especially the times that
It's,
you helped them?
money is not important until you don't have any,
Well,
until you don't have a house.
it wasn't important to you because what you wanted to do was your money, use it to help others.
Yes.
So at that
And
point,
I'm
that
sure
it wasn't.
thousands of teachers do that at the same time.
That is the most incredible thing from people who give their lives to teach our children, our grandchildren, where they don't get any money, any supplies. They're mistreated, misrepresented, misunderstood. I mean, what are we doing? Why are we doing
You
this?
wonder, you
So, for
wonder.
those parents who have a little more than those who don't, maybe once in a while donate something. Go to a school, donate
And
pencils,
on
paper.
not only that, donate of your time.
Oh,
That's the most precious thing. Donate of your time. I have a parent of Maria. She was a single mother of 4.
oh my goodness.
And I don't know how she did it, but I remember through 5, 6 years, she would come to my class and help out. Whatever. She
She
would help
still
out.
found the time?
Yes. And in the winter days,
Wow.
it's other set of parents. And then I remember I remember the child and the mom. You know what champurrado is?
Yeah,
Champurrado,
it's a mixture of like oats or
yeah,
something.
oats or
Or,
something that
yeah.
people in Mexico drink for breakfast. Hot
Okay.
champurrado in cold winter days for the children.
I've had it. It tastes really good.
Yeah, but she would bring the cans of champurrado for the children to have something warm to drink. People who don't have very much themselves. That is charity.
Oh my
So
goodness.
it is even, but
That is humanity at its most.
I call them random acts of kindness
Absolutely. From
that they
someone
come
who,
from your heart.
it's the story of Jesus, because if we know a little bit about the Bible and the stories, he does tell us to share. He does tell us to give. He does tell us to love everyone and do just what he did. And it's not because we're going to get any money out of it or any ads on the paper. No, it's because God recognizes it. God sees your heart. And we wonder sometimes, how long will I be on this earth? Like, I am turning 70 and I am thinking, well, my health is doing good and I'm turning 70. So I'm thinking, wow, God, this is working out pretty good. So it seems like I'm going to be around still for a few years. You never know, but you have to be thankful for every single
I
moment.
have told you before, it's
Your
true.
gift is a reward. Your life is a reward for the kindness and the love that you
And
gave your students.
and it was given freely and with all love. It was, and I told you before that my class was at the very end of a long hall, and every morning as I used to go to the my class, I used to pray the same prayer every day. Lord, please let me change the life of one child. I only asked for one,
Yeah.
and
Tell us that story of that one that came
Only
to
one
your
child.
class.
That's all I want to get. Let me help the life of one child. And then when I was time to retire, I was asking for a sign to the Lord.
Oh,
Walking down, is it time to retire? I was 70 and I was tired. And let me tell you, uh, I felt like I had given them all and there is no more to give.
you were tired, Nina.
And
Emotionally,
yes, well, it's very emotional. And let me tell you, I think I told you this story before about Christopher.
Yes, well, I would like the audience to know about it. So share it with us
Christopher was
because we are.
one of those smart students in my class. I had him since fourth and fifth grade, and he was a smart kid, man. I always thought he was going to go far. And he was a challenge kid. He used to challenge me to the oh, he used to go to town with me sometimes. And I remember telling the children, someday, I used to say, I want to go to UCLA. I want to turn around in the class and hear that Ricardo Rodriguez made it to UCLA, that Roberto Garcia, he made it to UCLA. And I would say that. I would always say that, always. Years later, just many years later, about 20 something years later, just before I retired, because he came and I retired. The secretary says, Mrs. White, there is a Christopher here to see you. I go, I don't know any Christopher. He says, yes. He says he was your student. Okay, send him out. And as I I opened the door of my room and see this tall guy, a Mexican guy, but he was tall guy like this, picks me up and holds me together, takes me around, and I go, oh my God, who are you? He says, Mrs. White, I'm Christopher so and so. Oh my God. He says, is that you? How lovely that you came. And then he says, you know why I have come? Because I have entered the mathematical program, the math
Oh, at
program at UCLA.
UCLA.
He says, and I thought about you. And all these years when I have to do certain problems in math and I have to use XYZ formula, I remember the songs that you taught me. Because you see, formulas for math, you need to memorize it. So
And
we used to sing to it.
music helps you remember them.
We used to sing to it, area. I that story, yeah. I know I got your number, remember? And
Qué
um,
bella eres. You're
that was
beautiful.
after he turned in, and I remember he turned in early in January, like at this time of the year. In June, on June, May the 1st, I put in my papers. I'm gone, because you see, my prayer was answered. My prayer
Yes,
was answered.
yes. It definitely was. And that was the proof that you were seeking. But I want to talk just a little bit because we are already running out of time.
My God.
Talk to me about that love, that patience, that dedication that you learned. Has that helped you to be the most amazing grandmother?
I'm Thank you for the compliment. I don't think I am an amazing grandmother, but I try to be.
You are.
Because you know what I realized, there is a generational thing here. And my
It's a big
granddaughter,
gap. Yeah.
she's not here, so I can tell you she's a very smart kid. And she teases me to death all day long. Yes, I try to be the best, because let me tell you what grandmothers do, is my opinion. We love the children unconditionally. We don't have to to guide them. We don't have to tell them
Kind
what
of
to
do.
do or suggest. Mine is a gentle thing, a conversation. What about
Hmm.
this and whatever? I find myself having conversations with my granddaughter. She's only 14, 13. And I'm surprised at how grown up. And I go, oh my God, I'm not sure I was like that.
Yeah, they're
Or
pretty smart. They're very smart. They are.
I don't know for sure, but
So
here
how
we
what
go.
is that love like?
It's unconditional. You just love
Great.
it because they are there and you don't have the obligation.
Are you happy? I know that you live with your daughter and your son-in-law and your granddaughter, so you have the opportunity to spend a lot of family time. How is that for you?
It's okay. you know, it's fine. I don't think I would be alone. I tried to be on my own after my husband passed away for me for 5 years
Hmm.
because I said to myself, I have to prove to myself that I can do it.
Right.
And I did. But as you said before, it comes to a point where it says, well, do I want, you know what? It was very challenged, keep up the maintenance of the house.
Of course.
And
Why do
it's,
you think I live in a cubicle? No, I'm kidding. But
no, but that
another
isn't
thing
it
is,
true? It's expensive.
it's
And
very expensive to live
again,
anywhere in
someone tried to
California.
break into my house. I remember that. That made them the decision.
Oh. But the good thing is, because this doesn't happen to every parent, the good thing is that your daughter and her husband welcomed you into their home.
Oh, yes. I think it was very transactional, but it was good for all of us. It
Let's
was,
bring a
what
little
did I call it?
let's
A
bring a little
win-win. It
reality.
was a win-win situation for all of us.
Nina, let's bring a little reality into this conversation, why don't we, huh?
Very transactional, but it was. I'm telling you the truth.
Yeah.
One thing you know me long enough to know.
Al pan pan y al
I
vino
just call.
vino.
I call it pan pan el vino vino. You know,
Exactly.
and
Exactly.
but it works all the way around because there is a lot of respect for the privacy of others.
Absolutely. It's not easy. It's not easy. You are blessed
It's not
and you
easy.
have wonderful children,
Thank you.
but it does take a little more patience on the parent part than it does on the children.
And let me give you a piece of advice. I
Go
never
for it.
interfere with
People
their
are
business.
listening.
I don't have an opinion. I don't. I don't make my opinion known unless it is asked for.
Wow. Good job,
You
Nina.
know, you don't ask me. I see many things I do disagree with, but that's part of the being the grandfather. I have nothing to.
And
This girl has this. My daughter has her husband and her daughter. My son-in-law. Both they. I do not interfere, man. No, keep my mouth shut. Keep my mouth.
yeah.
I mean, if I think otherwise, which many times I do, I just keep my. I don't keep my opinion to myself until I am asked.
Well, there's one thing that I want to mention really quick because we are so out of time. The conversation has gone up about who you are as a fabulous woman, as a teacher, as a dedicated public servant. You have given so much love to your children. But at this moment, what kind of advice do you give the people who are listening to the show about who an abuelita as a woman is?
Let me tell you, an abuelita is something that I heard you before. You have said it many times. I have the only advice that I have to give to your listeners is the one I had given my own students, my daughters, and everyone who cares to listen. When you're young, you have to make a lot of decisions. Be very careful of the decisions that you make because you have to live with the consequences.
Whew. Amen to that. Amen to that.
Amen. When you say, well,
Absolutely.
what do this happen to me? Oh, excuse me. Remember that you decided to do XYZ?
There's a one final thought because I just remembered. Share with because you might have a life with your daughter and son-in-law and granddaughter. Well, if when she leaves, for many years, because that is part of your genealogy and your family. Because your grandmother, I'm sorry, your mother lived until the age of.
106.
Oh,
Man,
tell us about
you
her,
want me to
but
tell you
really
the
short
truth?
because we gotta go. Tell us
106.
about her.
My mom was a woman who reinvented herself at the time my father passed.
How old was she?
She was in her 70s. She became her own woman at 70.
How did she change? Share that with us. I don't care.
Everything.
I'm sorry. Give me
See,
1 second.
you.
Give me one
This is
second.
a long conversation.
Nina, give me 1 sec. I know it's a long conversation, but I want to get an idea of it. And I just want to tell our listeners this conversation is so interesting. I don't want to let go. So if you're used to Entre Abuelitas being a 35-minute show, we're already past that. And please keep on listening. We
Maybe
are
that's
still here.
for another time.
Well, a lifetime cannot be told in half an hour, that's for sure. But tell me one thing, how did she reinvent herself at 70?
My mother was living, when I was in Lima, it was a very conservative, patriarchal society. My father was the king of his house. And we all have to defer
Don't,
to whatever. He was a wonderful man, but he was. So my
don't.
mother was, my mother didn't learn to, for example, write a check until she was 70.
My goodness, she was that
My
protected. It
dad
was
took care of everything, but
not,
my
she
mother
did she work?
never. My mother never worked.
Never worked. Did she work
And
at 70?
no, but she learned to do things on her own. She learned to make her own decisions. She took the trips she wanted. She bought, she drank. She bought what she wanted. She drank what she wanted. And she would say, nobody tells me what to do.
Didn't she have a drink every day?
No, but she would drink a beer whenever
And she was
anybody
still
would
drinking?
ask. My mom used to drink beer. She used to like her single malt scotch. And a
God bless her.
good wine, because she would say, when you are old, you drink the best or eat the best, because you don't know when you're going to drop dead. So give me your best single malt.
And you also have said that she wasn't her full capacities until the age of 106.
No, until the age of 104.
Oh, and then she
And
had
then she declined.
her memory and all of that. Well, I mean, come on, 104. I mean, I just would love to make it to 100, but I'm going to have to keep running, 3-4 miles a day if I'm going to be healthy and do it. But you do have to change your life eventually and make it better. I know that you have had a bit of a little health issue, but you are on the way to recovery.
Yes.
And you've learned yourself how important it is to take care of our abuelitas' bodies, because, hey, things change.
Erica is coming.
Erica is
anyway,
coming. That's okay. Thank you so much,
You're
Nina,
very
for
welcome.
being on Entre Abuelitas. Please hang in there.
I will
Don't
hang
disconnect
here.
for me. Thank you so
Okay.
much. And to everybody who has been listening, this has been my beautiful guest, Nina White. And my loves, I want you to listen to me. The world will tell you to run faster, want more, and never stop. But happiness is not in the race, but in the roots. So take time to love, share, sit with your family members, talk about it, and listen to what they have to say. Remember that your past is not a weight, it's your wings. So carry it with pride. Porque quien se olvida de sus raíces, se olvida de quién es. Because the one who forgets the roots, they truly forget who they are. Until the next time, I am Liliana Montenegro. This is Entre Abuelitas. Thank you, Nina White. Thank you to all
You're
for
very
listening. Thank you, and have an amazing week. Please come see us again.
I
I
will.
love you,
Thank you.
Nina. I
Bye-bye.
love you, everyone.
Thank you.
Bye.
Okay, Lola.